This is On the Subject, the show discussing film, TV, and beyond, with your hosts Logan NAUGLE and Zachary Jackson, featuring Malcolm Russell Nelson. Everybody, go with the theme song.
I'm Zach.
I'm Logan.
And I'm Malcolm.
Hey, I think we gotta lose the garbage truck. That's not the wrong signal. Can't do it.
It's true, though. We should get rid of the garbage truck.
A little bit.
So, of course, that means we've returned for Hellboy 2, The Golden Army.
The Golden Army.
Which is the 2008 sequel to the first Hellboy. It came out on July 11th.
Yep.
It had a budget of $85 million and it made about $160, so almost made back twice as much.
It's not bad.
And,
this is my favorite summer of movies.
Oh, wow.
2008 has the best summer of movies. Easily.
Your favorite, Meet Dave.
Meet Dave.
Journey to the Center of the Earth. Starring Brendan Fraser.
First Mamma Mia.
Yep. It's a great summer of movies. What?
So, that being said, it did open number one again.
Yep.
And it ran for 10 weeks again, like the first one.
Consistency.
Yeah.
Can't spell consistency without Del Toro.
Without Guillermo.
I was going to say without Guillermo, but that one seemed less believable.
Yeah. I think it's interesting because it did come out again, ran the same amount of time, and the first movie almost doubled its budget, and so did this one.
Yeah.
Like, that's pretty good, especially because you do have more superheroes out in this world now, and like more pop culture movies are becoming a much bigger thing by the time Hellboy 2 comes out.
Yeah, because this is the same year as Iron Man.
Iron Man.
The Dark Knight.
Yeah, The Dark Knight, yeah.
Incredible Hulk.
Which I wonder if it would have done like a lot better if those weren't
Yeah.
the same year.
This is also a huge year for Universal in general.
Yeah.
Because this is a Universal movie. Incredible Hulk was Universal. And after this was The Mummy 3.
Oh, yeah.
Is it the one with Jet Li?
Yes.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
is also a Universal movie.
Yeah.
Speaking of Brandon Fraser. So.
Well, like the weird thing is this wasn't supposed to be Universal originally.
No.
It was Relativity, I think.
Relativity.
Yeah.
But there's like a bunch of weird stuff going on with it
And then
at
like
the time.
Sony was optioned at one point, I think. I was
Yeah.
reading. Yeah. Yeah. So it opened against Meet Dave and Journey to Center of the Earth.
Heck yeah, Meet Dave.
It was coming off of the previous weekend with The Whackness and Hancock.
Oh, yeah, Hancock.
Oh, yeah. Hancock. It's a great summer.
I think this is also like the summer where I started to play D&D a lot.
Oh, nice.
It's a good summer, man.
It was a good summer. 2008, man. 2008. I turned 18. And then you had Mamma Mia and The Dark Knight a week after. So it kind of opened in a good spot.
Yeah.
It would have been. I wonder if it would have done even better if it opened like 2 weeks or a month
I think
before
so,
The Dark
yeah.
Knight. But like you said, like we had Iron Man that year.
Yeah, because then it's still in the tail of Iron Man, and it's right around the time that Incredible Hulk would have been coming.
We also have the Batman Begins. Like now has like set the stage for like new movies coming out and like what DC wants to do and everything.
Huge year.
Yeah.
It came out well before Step Brothers, so it didn't get swept up in Step Brothers crush.
So this is another weird thing that I don't remember when I saw this, but I do remember seeing it in theaters also.
Saw it opening day.
Yeah, I saw it opening day.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
I was super excited.
I saw it
Like,
in the summer, like maybe 2 weeks later. But yeah, I remember because I didn't see it till after I had seen Dark Knight.
Dark Knight.
Yeah.
So you saw it after Mamma Mia.
Well, I just didn't. I just skipped the Mamma Mia. Sorry. I'm sorry, listeners. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Are you supposed to go again?
I'll leave.
First one.
You can't go
Is that
again.
the tagline? How are you supposed to go again without doing the first one?
You can't go again if you haven't gone. So Hellboy 2 actually uses a lot more mythology.
Yeah, it steps away from the pulp and like really embraces the like folklore type stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The reins were passed more to Guillermo for this one, I feel like.
They originally were going to adapt a storyline focusing on Roger, the homunculus.
Yes, the homunculus.
Sometime during that, they changed it and like the bad guys were going to be Titans, but they switch it to the Golden Army and Prince Nuada instead.
Yeah, and they like wrote the story together, right? Like Mignola and Guillermo del Toro.
Which once again, it's such a weird thing that Mignola came out like kind of not liking these movies afterwards.
Right. It was like, no, they suck. They're terrible. I had nothing to do with them.
Yeah, he was like involved.
He was very involved.
Yeah. I think I feel like a big part of it was he was probably promised like more money. Because he was promised like a trilogy.
That's true.
And the trilogy obviously fell through.
Yeah.
I think it's just like bad blood based off of bad business, basically.
Yeah, and it was like set up as a trilogy, kind of the envisioning of it, right?
From the beginning.
Yeah. From the beginning.
And you can really tell that with this, especially with how this ends and every conversation with Prince Nuada and Hellboy is very much setting up like Hellboy's new direction.
Yeah.
So it's really setting up like a third one.
But I will give it to Guillermo for setting up like his universes have an atmosphere, and so from the transition from 1 to 2, all the new mythology, it still feels like Hellboy. It just feels a little more mystic.
Yeah.
Like, and like I said, you lose that kind of pulp edge.
Yeah.
Like of the subway scenes. You don't have a villain that looks like Cypher from the Matrix in this one.
Yeah, they're not.
Rasputin kind of looked like that. We gotta admit that.
Yeah,
right?
He did, like, I kept thinking he looked like a mix of Guy Pearce and
Joey Pants.
Yeah.
Yeah, like this doesn't have like the Nazi stuff like all the pulp stuff has.
So I did write a note also with talking about Guillermo and like this being a trilogy idea. In all caps, I wrote world building.
Yeah.
World building.
For better or worse, this movie has a lot of that, which is like kind of the Guillermo bread and butter, but also it gets the sequelitis of feeling like it's a middle movie at some points.
Yes.
Yeah, like between this and the first Hellboy, he did Pan's Labyrinth, which really got him hooked on that like fairy tale type stuff.
Yeah.
So he
And
wanted
this
to do it for
feels like a spiritual sequel to Pan's Labyrinth.
yeah,
With the
especially
tooth
character
fairies?
design.
Especially with the tooth fairies and the angel of death at the end.
Yeah.
Like, whoa, that's Pan's Labyrinth.
Yeah, and like the troll market too.
Yeah.
Just like everything in there.
Yeah.
Also between like shooting, so Ron Perlman was, which I didn't know this, he declined a role for Dragon Ball Evolution.
Oh, thank God.
Guess who he was going to play?
Piccolo?
Yes.
No way.
Yeah. He turned it down.
As Demon Lord Piccolo, though, that's not a bad cast.
He's like, but I turned it down for a favor, reprising my role as Hellboy.
Thank God.
Oh my God, that's weird.
Peter Jackson also approached Guillermo to direct Halo.
Yep.
And he turned it down to do the sequel. He was also approached for I Am Legend and One Missed Call, and the Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince.
Oh yeah.
Interesting.
So those were all.
So he turned down another Harry Potter movie because he turned down the third one for the first movie.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
So
Interesting.
it's weird. There's like a lot of behind the scenes in those 4 years that happened.
Yeah. He's got an interesting career just in general.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That brings us to the Golden Army. Really quick, what's this movie about?
This movie is about Prince Nuada, who is the prince / new king of the elves.
Luke Goss.
Yeah, played by the awesome Luke Goss. And he wants to get revenge on like humans basically because his father created the Golden Army and he felt bad about using it, so he hid him away. And so the prince thought he was getting soft, so he wants to go and get the army himself.
Yeah.
So Hellboy and the BPRD have to stop him.
Yeah. This movie has that huge like big adventure feel. Like
It's a big sprawling adventure.
yeah, where it's like a mix between Submariner hating the human, like the whole
Right.
others versus the human world
Right.
battle that you see in a lot of movies. Like speaking of Peter Jackson and Lord of the Rings and everything, like you kind of get that. Oh, it's you've turned against me. You've gone soft, so we're gonna corrupt you to like get back because the humans are the real enemy. Which I mean, he's not wrong.
Especially if that came out like this year, it'd be like even closer because all like the climate change stuff that's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good movie.
It's very
Luke Goss is awesome in it.
yeah.
He looks creepy.
He's very creepy.
He looks really creepy,
So he's super albino.
but like hella cool at the same time.
Yeah. He's like fashion forward, but very creepy.
Does really cool moves.
Yeah. He's like a weird Met Gala ghost. Like,
like
he looks like is he like,
I like that.
premiering a new outfit, but also like
I like that.
kind of creepy and might kill you.
I like that a lot.
That was one of the unused taglines for this movie.
That whole thing.
He's a weird Met Gala ghost. The other's a Hellboy.
Next on
Entertainment Tonight.
Actually, Entertainment Tonight's kind of over by 2008 also. That's a change that happened.
You're right. You're right.
Because we have YouTube.
God, I hate YouTube.
But yeah, so the movie starts out with, was it 1955?
Yeah.
And a broom is telling a story to like a little 10-year-old Hellboy.
John Hurt reprising his role as Broom for this one scene.
Yeah. And
worth it.
And the whole story is just explaining the history of the elves and like the men and the Golden Army.
Yeah.
Which is just like perfect setup for the whole movie.
Yeah.
And it's done in this
the Lord
beautiful
of the Rings story.
Yeah. And it's done in this like beautiful like wooden looking animation.
Like storytelling animation, yeah.
Which looks great.
I actually like when because Harry Potter does that at the end. Like there's a few movies that do that.
There's a few movies that do that.
And it's kind of fun.
It's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It adds to that like
mythology.
Yeah. I forgot. Yeah. Deathly Hallows Part 1 does that, right?
Yeah. Prince Nuada, the villain, he shows up to like art auction where he unleashes a bunch of tooth fairies on people for these terrifying little monsters.
That eat calcium.
See, and he shows up and no one questions it because he looks like a Met Gala ghost.
That's why he belongs.
Everyone's like, all right, we get it. You're rich.
He has good lines too.
Yeah.
That whole sequence. He's got real good lines.
He's just like a very good villain overall.
He's a good villain.
He's like so cold and
he's Loki in the first Avengers movie.
Yeah.
Like he's doing that thing without the charm.
Yeah, because he's scorned.
Because he's really like kind of scary. Like
he would have been a good Loki.
He would have been a good Loki. Can you believe that Luke Goss is like 50 now?
No,
he's 50 years old. He was born in 68.
Dang, good for him.
Yeah, I know, right? So at the time of this movie, he's 40, and he's doing all those cool flips and everything. Boy's awesome.
We also catch up with the BPRD, Hellboy, what's kind of been going on.
Hellboy and Liz are in a relationship. They've moved in together.
After that
she
kiss.
Moved into his room.
They're having
His
like
room
little
is a
spat.
mess. They're having a spat. Jeffrey Tambor is in charge.
What's his name is gone. No.
Myers.
Yeah, Myers. Yeah.
Transferred to Antarctica
because he said he liked the cold, which is really funny.
That's like hearing the reception of that character and being like, all right, we know what to do.
Yeah.
Actually, he was written out of the movie.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like,
yeah, like he
Oh,
was, like, he
just
was
completely?
originally. Yeah, Rupert Evans just wasn't available, so they had to write him out.
That's good.
Yeah, I can't see anywhere where he would have fit in this.
Yeah, there's already a lot going on.
There's a lot going on. I'm sure he would have just been one of the agents who died at the Tooth Fairies. You know,
Yeah.
like, so like, what's the point of even having him? Like, you have all the others. They're better.
They're the red shirts.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, there's the bit with like the toothbrush, and Liz is like, "What are you doing with all your?" Like, it's so bad.
So
It's a toothbrush and the cat food.
In the cat food. So it's kind of like Hellboy hasn't learned, and he still doesn't like Manning.
What a doo-doo.
Yeah, they really ramp up the comedy in this one.
Yeah.
But it's funny though.
Yeah,
Like, this is a funny movie. It's got good comedy.
like in the first one, the dialogue was cheesy because it was like kind of comic booky, and this one it's like corny.
Yeah, this is corny.
Yeah.
As opposed to cheesy, but I like corny more. It's cool.
After that, they get called to the museum again, where there's like, after the Tooth Fairy massacre, they go in and Manning's trying to do his like thing where he's like, "Oh, nothing weird's going on."
It's
here.
a gas leak.
Right,
or
a gas leak. And my agents went up there in special gas materials. like
there's
he's
a
just
lot of gas
grasping for
leaks.
stuff,
Yeah.
which is weird. Like,
You assume that he's used this line too many times.
right.
And there's an altercation with the Tooth Fairies. They're still up there, which leads to Liz using her powers, and it blows Hellboy out of the window.
I love that she tells him, like, get away from the window.
Yeah,
And he, like, looks
stands
at the window and is like, nah, this is the moment. And he just stands there, he's like, world, here I come.
Yeah.
And, like, him falling out of the window and the music's playing.
Yeah.
Like,
I want to recut with the Mad Men music. Just for me.
That's probably on the YouTube.
Gosh, the YouTube.
That's what's missing is Jeffrey Tambor saying the YouTube.
Yeah.
That'd be really funny.
Edit that in there too.
Edit that in.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're revealed to the world now. Some of the regular people don't really seem to like them that much because they're freaks.
But Jimmy Kimmel, he likes them.
He likes Liz.
He likes Liz. He wants to date Liz.
Yeah, that's a weird not aging well moment in that.
Jimmy Kimmel's still around, so...
No, but I mean like the whole like, she's...
The whole talk show thing. Yeah. Him being like, I want to stop that. So.
Yeah. It's like,
He starts masturbating on screen.
It's really weird.
It's a whole weird thing. If you watch the director's commentary...
Del Toro's just like, I didn't tell him to do that. Kimmel just did it.
Yeah. Yeah. So Hellboy's pretty excited about being exposed because he's like, seriously, since the first movie, I've wanted to be out there.
Right.
Since before the first movie.
That's what he says, too. He says, since before the first movie, I've wanted to be out there.
Yeah.
Now in the sequel, I'm out there.
Yeah. See, that's where it goes back to being from corny back to cheesy.
Because of all this, DC sends in a new boss to help like figure things out. And
keep him in line.
Yeah, so they bring in Johann Kraus, played by Seth MacFarlane.
Voiced by Seth
MacFarlane.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I didn't know probably the first 2 or 3 times I watched it that it was
really?
him. Yeah.
Oh, you can hear it.
No, I once
you know you can hear it. Yeah.
But I was like, it's just a funny voice actor.
He's good.
Yeah.
I love when he speaks, like the little levers go up and down.
Reminds me of a music box, like the little thing inside that.
Yeah. Once again, a very like Guillermo Pan's Labyrinth.
Guillermo thing, yes.
All the movements with his suit are great. Like when he empties the suit, and
it just
still
like
kind of stands there, but it slumps. Yeah.
And then like when he refills it, and it
his
like
hands
fills
are the
back
last
in,
thing.
and the hand is last. Yeah, super cool.
I love it.
That's where the comedy really works. Is like the bits, like the visual gags.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually forgot he uses his power so much in the movie.
Oh man, I forgot about that bit at the end. That's so cool.
He does it like 3 or 4 times, right?
Yeah, I think 4, because he does it with the Tooth Fairy, he does it with the lockers, he does it with the
lockers is great.
The Golden Army and the Vault.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah. It's a good power set.
Cool. Honestly, he's a pretty cool guy.
Yes. So they basically interrogate the corpse of a Tooth Fairy, and they find out that they were purchased at the Troll Market, which is under a bridge. So they got to figure out
where this bridge is and everything. Yeah.
Yes, but luckily Kraus has some special goggles that lets you see troll magic, and so they find an entrance under the east end of the Brooklyn Bridge.
Yeah, Kraus is like he's very what's it called, like stern or
Daniel Stern.
He's kind of a dick, but he has a reason.
Yeah.
He's very calculated. That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, he's just kind of the worst.
Yeah, he's like
in a fun way.
Yeah.
Yeah. He thinks he should just go by the rules, and that's how things will get worked out.
He's just a total wet blanket.
Yeah. And by the end of it, he's like, damn it, Hellboy. I hate your ways, but damn it, you get results.
Screw the clearance. That's my favorite.
Yeah.
Screw the clearance. We shall take the plane.
And like the over the top accent works in this too.
It works really well.
Yeah.
I love like when he's descending down on the lift and Manning is telling Hellboy like, okay, like this is it.
Very open face.
You know, he has a very open face, and Hellboy's like, Kraus sounds German. I don't like Germans.
Yeah, he was all set. Yeah,
he keeps trying to grab the dossier.
Yeah, exactly.
It's good.
He has a very open face.
So like we were talking about earlier, it's interesting that it moves away from the World War II like mythos of like the Mignola comics to build its own. But I like it. Like I don't.
It works really well.
I don't miss that, but it does feel like okay. So if you read the comics, like, oh, this is like a different type of mythology.
Yeah.
This one could be like in the continuity of the comics,
right?
And
it's like a side story.
Yeah, like it could be in there without the noir or the pulp. Yeah,
it like helps you understand why they have this as like a day-to-day job.
Yeah,
right. Exactly.
Because
going on.
There's not just demons. Like there's other mythology and creatures and magic. Yeah.
which is really cool. So they go to the troll market.
Yeah, where they harass an old woman who's actually a troll.
Mm-hmm.
You threaten her with a
canary. Because she's afraid of canaries, the horrible yellow beasts. She says, which that's a line that doesn't age well.
Yeah. Which is so the old ladies being afraid of things is like a reoccurring bit in movies with like the cat and the scroll.
Yeah.
Then you like I feel that's always a thing.
Being
like,
afraid of like conventional basic items. Yeah.
Well, because in my world it means something.
Yeah, I like that. Though.
It's kind of
cool.
fun. Yeah.
That's
I think it's
quirk.
Yeah, it's like based off of actual or not like real folktale type stuff.
No, actual. No,
Yeah,
you're
real
right.
things.
You had it right the first time. Yeah. Yeah.
Because it also reminds me of like the first Mummy movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have the cat.
See, yeah.
I love how they ask the woman to like open up the door and she says no. So he just knocks her out. She's like, she said never.
Yeah, he's like, she said never. This movie has a really interesting stance on police brutality.
Yeah. For better or worse, I guess. They're not real
Hellboy,
police.
not a good cop. Like, but he says he never got a badge. So, I mean, who's the blame?
Yeah,
You know?
he's just a vigilante living by his own rules when the law doesn't.
He's a rogue cop.
Yeah,
a renegade
exactly.
cop.
Yeah, he's a bad boy.
He's a bad boy. He's a bit of a little stinker.
Yeah, so while they're in the troll market, Abe sees Nuada's twin sister, Nuala, who has one of the pieces of the golden crown which they need to activate the army.
Yep, the one piece that Nuada needs.
Yeah, so they're looking for Nuada, or like they're looking for
the person that bought the tooth fairy.
Yeah, and then we see that his sister is also kind of watching them because she's like, yeah, I need to tell somebody about this. Like, I don't agree with my brother's policies.
And while Abe is doing that, Hellboy kind of like splits off from Krause because he's sick of listening to him. Yep. And he starts to interrogate these three people that know something about the tooth fairy.
Yeah.
And it basically just cuts to him smacking the one person like back and forth.
Which is so good. Oh man.
The film with the cut back is so good. So good. Yeah.
And then he apologizes to the baby.
That, which leads to one of my favorite bits. It's like, I'm not a baby, I'm a tumor.
So good.
And it just rests its head.
The costumes in this are amazing.
Yeah, the whole market. So
the market design is
once again
incredible.
The practical effects and practical like materials that they use for everything is awesome.
And it's all built as like one big set, so
you could actually walk around.
Yeah, walk around.
Like it shows you the geography of the whole thing, so like you know where everybody's supposed to be. Like in the first scene, you see the grinding machine that kills Mr. Wink. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
in the next 10 minutes, and you see like the map shop and stuff.
Oh, let's talk about Mr. Wink. Mr. Wink looks amazing too.
Mr. Wink
again, really practical effects and stuff, and he looks awesome.
He's one of my favorite like henchmen.
Oh, Mr. Wink is cool. It's also a great henchman name.
Yeah, and also he's cool because he's like similar to Hellboy. He's like a big dude with like a fake hand, or like
fake
a metal gear gauntlet. Yeah.
I love when they punch each other's hands.
Oh, and it just like wrecks the metal one. So cool.
His weird like porcupine beard, like whiskers.
Yeah.
He's got like the
Do you guys know why he was named Mr. Wink?
No.
He was named after Selma Blair's one-eyed dog.
Aww.
Yeah. Yeah, true story.
That's funny.
Yeah, it's really cute. Like that's really cute because that means like, oh, that dog's probably really adorable.
And it goes back
Mr. Wink, and he's not adorable.
It goes back to like Guillermo working with these people and everyone liking the process.
Everyone liking the experience, and the process.
Yeah,
exactly. Which is cool.
And Mr. Wink sees that Hellboy is trying to find information on Nuada, so they get in a fight, and he gets crushed by like the grinding machine.
Yeah, he makes him miss, and the arm shoots into the grinding machine, right?
He just pulls him in.
Yeah.
Yep, just pulls him in, which is cool.
And before that, actually, he tries to like smash Abe, but Abe was like dodging around him a whole bunch.
I love how that looks too. Abe just like
slides
going between his legs and stuff. Yeah,
we actually get some Abe action in this movie.
Yeah. And that's actually Doug Jones doing that stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's not a stuntman.
Yeah, that's actually Doug Jones, which is cool.
That's so cool.
Doug Jones rocks.
Oh, and before like the troll scene, Abe finds out that Liz is pregnant,
Oh,
like he actually finds out before
in
she does.
Thing, yeah.
Yeah.
So now he has a reason to fight.
Yeah.
Not that he didn't have one before.
For his buddy's girl.
Yeah.
But Abe follows Nuala into a map shop, and then they basically just they touch hands.
They share passing glances.
Yeah. Yep. They kind of like share each other's memories and thoughts. And she's there to get a map which will help locate the Golden Army.
Yeah.
And she ends up going back with them to the BPRD. And through the grapevine of like all these weird monsters, Nuada finds out that Mr. Wink was murdered. And he actually gets upset, which I like a lot.
Well, yeah, he's really unhappy, and he like confronts Hellboy about it too, which is cool. He's like, "You'll pay! Like, you killed my friend. How dare you?" Yeah. Yeah,
he starts a fight with him, like on the way out of the troll city, and he summons like a grass god,
this giant grass god thing. Which
the seed,
the design on that is amazing.
So cool.
That's so
That's
cool.
a beautiful monster.
When the leaves fold together to make the face.
Yeah.
Oh, man. It looks kind of like the Cloverfield monster, but like an Earth
Pretty,
based
yeah.
version.
During the fight, Hellboy has to decide if he wants to protect the people or if he wants to protect like the monster, which is like the only one of its kind.
And Nuada kind of heckles him about that too.
Yeah.
He's like, listen, like, go ahead, shoot it. Like, this is what you do.
Yeah,
Right?
like,
He's the
people
last
suck.
of his kind. If you kill him, there are no more.
Yeah.
Like, you will be taking away something beautiful from this world. And then Hellboy has to shoot him.
Yeah.
The first time I saw it, it actually got me teared up.
It's kind of a bummer.
The way it's delivered, though,
the way
too,
it's
of
delivered
like,
is really good and convincing and interesting.
yeah,
And it's interesting that like Hellboy never really thought about that before.
and it's such a good like villain power play.
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
hey,
Because he's not wrong.
yeah,
That's the thing. Like, he's not wrong about it. He's doing things the wrong way, but he's not wrong about it.
yeah,
You know? Yeah.
And this whole time, Hellboy's holding a baby.
Yeah.
It's like in the middle of
Which
this
is
fight.
awesome. And like changing it between like his hands and his
tails,
tail.
yeah.
Yeah. Toss the baby up so he could load the big baby, the giant gun that he has.
right.
Like, sweet.
This is like one of the few times where I don't like Krause like on screen because he spends like half his time there just screaming, "Shoot the thing!"
Shoot the monster!
Yeah.
Shoot it! Shoot
Says
it
it
in the
over
head!
and over and over.
The head! The head!
Which is weird because you got to imagine that was like, coming in for added dialogue, and so it's like
It feels
it
like
didn't need
ADR.
it. Yeah.
Like, while
They just, like,
we're focusing
looped
on Hellboy and Nuada talking, you're hearing Johan in the background just shoot. Insubordination will not be tolerated.
Like I don't know if they wanted to do
It's not
to make
good.
it more comedic or
Yeah, it's the wrong time for comedy. Too,
Yeah.
is the thing. Like it doesn't
let it
work.
breathe in that like sadness
Yeah,
kind of.
yeah, like it's a really sad moment.
I don't think it's supposed to be comedy. I think it's just supposed to be like, is he gonna
Atmosphere,
listen
like-
to orders or is he gonna
Yeah.
do his, yeah.
Yeah.
It's not delivered quite well enough.
And I gotta be honest, every time I see it, I'm surprised that he shoots him.
Yeah.
Like I'm genuinely surprised.
I don't want him to.
I
and
don't want him
yeah.
to, and I don't think he's going to, and then
Yeah.
he does, and it's a total bummer.
Yeah, I think I've seen this movie like 5 or 6 times now.
Yeah.
Like it's a really good movie, and
Yeah, it's really good.
this is one of the deeper emotional moments in this movie, and I really enjoy it.
I love when like it dies, how it like spreads grass and like
Grass,
greenery all
yeah.
over the.
And everyone's looking at it and it's like, wow, it's beautiful. But like it's the death of this beautiful thing.
Yeah. And it was going to destroy the city, but it's not its fault.
But
It was
not its
unleashed
fault.
on
It was,
the yeah.
it was being used as a weapon, and it's a whole, it's a very interesting statement on police brutality.
Yeah. Yeah, it's weird. This movie kind of has an underline about that throughout this movie.
Yeah,
like Law and Order.
isn't that interesting?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like about
A
like
movie from 2008.
yeah, if like following orders, like how far is too far type
Yeah.
stuff.
But in the decade that's passed since then, like a lot has changed.
You know who also just blindly followed orders? The Nazis.
I think that's exactly why they picked Krause.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I think that is exactly what I picked.
Yeah.
Chris.
That's why they picked Seth MacFarlane.
He was
I've
way
seen
too
the
on
Orville.
board.
I get to play what? Yes.
We've all seen Family Guy.
2 S's.
Yeah, so after that, they're back at the BPRD headquarters, and Abe and Nuala start to like connect a little bit more, and Liz and Hellboy are still
They
fighting.
touch hands.
Yeah.
And Hellboy's having a bad day because like the people started to treat him like crap, so he starts to get drunk.
Yeah.
And he gets in a fight with Krause, and Krause kind of kicks his ass.
Yeah.
By turning him to gas.
Which he thinks that he like broke Krause at first because he punches him in the dome.
I love how for a second like he's worried, but then he's like, oh well.
And he's like, huh, that sucks, huh? And then just keeps drinking his beer.
He's like, I guess we'll get another one.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, then we get the locker comedy beat up scene.
Yeah, when
which
it
is
smashes his
great.
face so hard. It
Yeah.
leaves
Oh,
an
it leaves an imprint? Yeah, so good.
then he forms his like ghost self and walks away while he's singing a song.
And see, that's like, once again, where it goes back to corny in the good, fun way.
In a good fun
Yeah.
way. Yeah. Yeah. Because that's a pretty tense moment, but it lightens up the moment pretty well.
Yeah.
And then Abe is like listening to his favorite sad songs because he's feeling things now that he hasn't like felt.
Yeah.
Really.
He's definitely a sad boy now.
And
He's going through his like emo stage we all went through. Yeah.
I love how he's got the line too. He's like, I don't even know if I can cry. I don't know if I have tear ducts.
I don't think I have tear ducts. Like, yeah.
It's messed up. I do like how they very like nonchalantly give him contacts instead of the goggles, like at that point in the movie.
Yeah.
Yep. And I like that people notice it too.
Yeah.
Like she notices it. The princess notices it and is like, huh, your eyes look different. Like,
she's like, you look different. Oh, is it my hair?
Like, is it my hair? Like, yeah.
Yeah.
So like him and Hellboy just start to get drunk together, but then you find out that Nuala and Nuada have a connection, so he knows exactly where she is, and he ends up going there and he kills a bunch of agents and
stabs Hellboy in the chest.
Yeah, with a special spear.
With a special spear tip.
It's kind of annoying that, she didn't mention that to anybody, or that Abe didn't pick up on that. Like, hey, really quick, my evil brother, we kind of like share this like brother sister
We're
bond.
twins.
But no, she does straight up tell Abe, but he doesn't say anything.
Yeah, that's true.
Stupid. I'm
Abe makes
sad
some
now.
dumb choices in this movie.
Yeah, he does. Yes, he does.
Because emotions.
Because emotions.
Boners.
Yeah. Emotional boners.
Fish boners.
Yeah.
Ew.
Emotional fish boners.
That's a good band name.
Fish cover band.
The Fish Boners?
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. Ooh, we got it.
So we have a new TV show and band.
And
Got it.
Man.
Got it.
So Hellboy is dying now.
Yep.
Yeah. So he gets in the fight and he's like, Psh, you can't do anything to me. I'm like the toughest.
I'm the Hellboy.
I'm like Hellboy. I have a name. It's Hellboy. Look it up. And then he gets stabbed, and the weird spear grows back a tip all the time.
Yeah, I love it.
And
I
like
love it.
if you
That's cool.
touch the blade, it goes closer to his heart.
Yeah.
So they can't do anything
Can't
about
pull
it.
it out.
So he's just kind of like, well, this was fun, everyone.
Yes. So they plan on finding Nuada and just lying to him basically about the crown. But it turns out Abe actually has the crown.
We actually found the crown piece
Yeah.
in a book of poetry.
Yeah. But on the way they find like the bridge to I can't remember what the place is called.
Tarbithia.
Yeah, bridge to Tarbithia. There's a guy there who says he'll take him to the army if
The wee little goblin.
if he gives him something shiny. He catches the thing in his chest. So
Yeah.
he takes him to an angel of death who can take it out, but she tells Liz that if he lives, then the world's going to die. And she's like, well, do it, and I'll save him.
Yeah. And also the most Guillermo-looking thing, but also the coolest-looking
so
creature.
Like the eyes on the wings.
Super creepy.
When it
super
lifts up
Guillermo.
the veil, too.
Yeah. It's so freaking
I love the
cool.
lift up to the veil. That's a nice nuance thing of like, oh, that's supposed to help her see.
Yeah.
But like,
I also
why
just
would
assumed
it?
that was Doug Jones playing that. I don't know.
Doug Jones plays
Wouldn't
the
be
Angel of
surprised.
Death, the Chamberlain, and Abe.
Okay. Yeah.
The Chamberlain is
What is a Chamberlain?
he's like the weird like worm looking guy that's outside of the king's lair in the
Oh.
beginning.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Okay. Cool.
So like you like sitting in makeup for hours.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so after they
Super
they fix Hellboy, they go to the army, and Abe gives Nuada the crown so he can protect Nuala, and then so he activates the army, And they begin a fight, which is pretty cool, especially when Krauss takes over one of the robots.
Yeah.
That's so cool. That's a cool use of his powers.
And where the army is like set in this weird like layer. I don't know what you want to call it. It's really like
looks like the birthing room in Aliens.
Yeah.
Because they're all like in edges like along the walls.
It's like a birthing room that had like layers that you can stand on.
And cogs.
Yeah.
Yeah, lots of cogs.
Yeah. Apparently like the North mythology that's pulling from had a lot of cogs. But it's really cool. It's a really cool area.
Right in.
Yeah.
It's a shame.
I will say this is where the CGI gets a little weird because
there's so much of it.
Yeah, the whole background is CGI, so then that has like that weird like CGI haze of like sheen. Yeah.
Apparently, some of the Golden Army they made real.
Yeah, for some of the battling, I know for like the arms.
Really?
Yeah.
But like,
okay. For when like Hellboy has the arm and he's like messing him up. Okay.
But like, like a lot of stuff you see up close is CG, so it kind of throws you off.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Especially when Krauss takes over and the light changes.
Yeah.
It's a little
weird. It looks a little off, but it's so cool.
And then they find out the robots like
can
after
rebuild.
They destroy him,
they're immortal. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So Hellboy is like, I guess I'll just challenge him because I'm technically royalty.
Yeah.
And they get in a badass like sword and spear fight. Son of the Fallen One.
Son of the Fallen One.
It's a really cool fight.
Yeah.
It's a cool fight.
And Hellboy beats him without killing him.
Yep.
And like as he's walking back to his team, Nuada tries to kill him, but Nuala stabs herself and kills them both in the process.
Yeah.
Which like that bit of him dying and like him talking to Hellboy, and then he like gets up and walks and like kind of like stagger walks like
and Hellboy
as he's about to turn into stone. Yeah.
Him.
Beautiful.
It's like the Kill Bill like 5 paces.
Yeah, it really is like that.
Which came out the same year.
Same year. Yeah.
They were talking.
That makes sense.
Yeah. This is a really good movie.
Yeah. It's definitely my top 3 like favorite comic book movies. It's very solid.
I could not disagree with that. It is very solid.
The things it suffers from aren't as big of a deal for how good it is.
It's just a product of the time.
Yeah.
You know, like the CG isn't going to hold up as well because of the time.
It was trying to potentially have a third movie.
There's also a spin-off in the works too, which I was more excited for. There's a prequel called Silverlance, which was all about Nuada.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was supposed to be back in like the 1500s when he meets Mr. Wink and like he saves him from the Spanish Inquisition.
I want to see a
my God.
buddy cop Wink and Nuada.
And like,
I would have watched that.
I want to watch that.
I want to watch that.
And it's supposed to expand on like why he was kicked out of the Elf Kingdom and stuff. And it wasn't actually his fault. Someone tricked him.
Oh, okay.
And it's supposed to make him more sympathetic.
Interesting.
And there's going to be more stuff about Abe kind of having visions of him and Nuala because he had a psychic connection as well.
Oh, cool.
Interesting. That sounds really good.
I know.
I wish that was a thing.
Yeah. Same. And I guess for that and for Hellboy 3, Del Toro asked Mignola if he could just make it into a comic instead because he didn't have the time or the funds because they wanted $120 million to make number 3.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, I can't do that. And like the only time he almost had it was if Uprising did well enough, but it didn't.
Yeah.
But Mignola was like, yeah, no, you can't. I'm sorry. Well, don't know why.
What was it? Was it 2 years ago now that they did the whole Guillermo did the poll for save Hellboy?
Yeah, because at the end of 2017 was when he's like, it's officially dead. Like, stop asking me.
Yeah.
Like, I wish I could make it, but I can't.
But he kind of brought that on himself for putting that Twitter poll out there of like, if we get it, we'll get it.
He's got his eyes are too big for his stomach type thing.
Yeah.
He wants to make all these things, but he doesn't have the time or the money.
Yeah.
Because like he said when he was done with the Hobbit, like the 2 Hobbit movies, then he would do number 3 if Ron Perlman was still up for it. But he dropped out of those, so he lost like the opportunity to get like his like blank check basically.
Yeah. But Ron Perlman was down like always. Yeah. Which is awesome. Like they're like buddies. Yeah. I would have loved to have seen a third movie because you could tell it was building towards that, and I think it would have only grown from there.
See what it was.
Yeah. Especially because some of the character moments like felt hollow because they're building towards a third movie. So it would have been cool to see everything pay off.
To see the end.
That being said, I think this movie stands really well still. Like, Guillermo took Hellboy, made it his own, and got to do some really cool stuff for 2 movies. I mean, it's not bad.
It still works, like, even without the third one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it works as an ending without the third. It's a good ending.
Mm-hmm.
Twins.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Now you know I
And they all quit the BPRD.
Yeah.
Except for Krause.
They all throw their badges away and say, we don't play by your rules.
We don't need no stinking badges.
Shield is done.
Yep. And then Agent Coulson comes out and says, not so fast.
But then he's really a Hydra agent.
Hell, Hydra. Yep. That's how the movie ends. Just
nice
pen.
I like that pen. It's nice. It's by Gary Shandling. Rest in peace, Gary Shandling.
So how many golden armies would you give this movie?
I'd give it 9.
I'd give it 9.95, honestly. Somewhere around there. I really adore this movie.
Yeah, same.
As far as movies in all of the movie verse, probably 8.5. But having given the first one an 8, I'd give this one a 9.
This one, like, builds up the first ones so well.
Yeah.
Especially, like...
and it learns from...
Yeah. Like, it figures out how to do its dialogue, like, more efficiently.
Yeah.
It looks better. I think it's got better CGI for the most part.
Yeah, because there's a lot more daytime shots also.
Oh,
and they get away with it.
That helps, yeah.
It loses a soundtrack. Like a score, I mean. It kind of...
Danny Elfman comes in and does the score, and it's a bummer.
But it doesn't have, like, lame music tracks.
No.
In the same way the first one did. But it doesn't have as good of a score.
It doesn't have as good of a score.
Yeah. Which is weird that they didn't do the thing of reusing the first score.
Right. There's, like, no trace of it, which is odd.
I think that... I wonder if that was, like, because the
studio
thing.
Yeah.
That's possible. I didn't think about that.
It's weird. All that stuff's weird.
Yeah. And then, so then the fallout from 2 leading to a 3, there's all that up. There's a bunch of, like, online, like, when are we going to get 3? And then it kept getting... And then Mignola comes out about, like, not being happy about the first 2. And that's was a whole drama. And then now we're getting a reboot that apparently Mignola, like, high-fived over it and everything.
Yep. Apparently this is his true vision.
Yeah.
Until the next time they want to do one, and he says, you know what? That last one was not my true vision.
Yeah. Yeah. They didn't use enough AC/DC in the
true vision
trailer.
Has more zeros.
Yeah.
Hey. Holla, holla.
Which I love. Like, all the props to Mignola created an amazing story. But the whole movie thing is like, just because you can write a book doesn't mean you can...
Also, the rights thing is weird.
Yeah.
Of, like, he gets all the credit, and there's none for, like, John Arcudi.
Or,
you know, like everyone else who worked on Hellboy stuff. And flushed out the whole universe and all those curves.
Yeah.
It's kind of
Fabio Moon and Gabriel Ba doing some of their stuff when they did
vampire stuff. Yeah.
Yep. So that's been the movie, which brings us to our game. But instead of just did the tagline live up to the movie, we're gonna change it a little bit and play which tagline is for the movie.
Okay.
So I'm gonna read you
the script.
Yeah, I'm gonna read you several taglines, and you have to guess which one is actually for the movie.
Okay. Now, question: are we working together on this, and are we working for points?
You will be given points.
Okay.
They will, at the end of our lives, be tallied up.
Excellent.
And you will be given rewards from the shelf over here.
Excellent. I
didn't even notice that.
What I'm going to get.
And you will be working individually, though.
Okay.
It's not a team effort.
Or
you can, and you will be divided. No, I will just take both of your... I'll be taking both of your guesses and then revealing that. I would ask that you both remain civil about this. Okay, so these are the taglines. What's the real one? There's a lot of finger sign language happening to each other. And I'm sorry, listeners. All right. I'm going to take both your answers, and then I'll tell you which one.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, so here's the taglines. Innocence has a power evil cannot imagine. Believe it or not, he's the good guy. There's a hero, there are superheroes, and then there's the poster.
I want to say it's the last one.
I was gonna say last one also, but I'll say the first one.
Okay, so
that means it's gonna be in the middle.
We're both wrong.
Yeah, we're both gonna be wrong. It's fine.
So you went with there are heroes, there are superheroes, and then there's
superheroes, and then there's Hellboy 2, The Golden Army. I realize now that's stupid.
and you said the first one?
Yeah.
Which was Innocence Has a Power Evil Cannot Imagine?
Yeah.
You're both wrong.
Is it really the middle one?
It was the middle one.
What is it? Believe it
or not, he's the good guy. Yeah. Believe it or not, he's the good guy.
That's a bad tagline.
So Innocence Has a Power Evil Cannot Imagine is from Pan's Labyrinth.
Oh.
So another Guillermo
movie.
movie.
Wait a second.
And
is the other one from Blade 2?
No.
Oh, dang.
But the other one is from a movie that came out the same year. There's a hero, there's superheroes, and then there's Hancock.
Oh, stupid. Stupid.
Yeah, so I figured I'd use a Guillermo movie.
That was good. Yeah. All right, I like this game.
So no points were awarded. I will actually be putting a vault over the shelf until you earn that back. So another one that came out was Good Never Looked So Bad. That's a real tagline for this movie.
It was Manning, actually, on the poster.
It's like just a poster of Jeffrey Tambor's life.
Yeah. That's the Netflix documentary that's coming out about. And then there's Saving the World is a Hell of a Job.
That makes sense. Yep.
I feel like that was the
is
giveaway.
A 2008 tagline right there.
So that was the new version of the game.
I like that.
Yeah.
That was good. That's good. You clearly stumped the class. So.
Yeah. And then this one got the same kind of middling reviews of like 7, 8, which I feel like it deserved better reviews. I feel like maybe it got like people weren't into the cheese, like kind of corny humor as much, and that's why it didn't get a higher review.
It's very corny.
Because I also thought, like we said, the effects were better. The characters seem more tight. Like it's not as much setup.
It's fleshed out just really well.
Yeah. What didn't work for you? What would you have wanted to make this better? I'll say that.
Honestly,
I think showing more of Abe and Mignola. It feels like the only thing.
They touch and like you see them bond and you don't.
Yeah.
You kind of.
If there was a scene of like when they touch of them like seeing their memory shared or something. Yeah. That'd be cool.
More for Liz to actually do. She doesn't actually do much.
Yeah, they kind of put her in a corner in this movie.
Yeah, again, she doesn't do much, which like I get like, oh, she's pregnant the whole movie, but she doesn't actually do much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Her fire looks way better in this one.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the whole super blue flame in the first one was like, but 2004.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the better looking CGI in that movie.
And it's funny because fire is one of those things that like you can use to tell like how old something is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like one of the first things people will add in like there's like a new special effect type thing.
It's like fire and water is like water's like the hardest one, I feel like.
Water especially.
Yeah. Now I think tightening this movie, if they didn't know they weren't getting a trilogy, this would have been I think a tighter movie anyway.
Yeah, like alter that Angel of Death scene basically.
Yeah, touch that up a little bit.
Maybe get rid of the twins thing.
Yeah. No, really good movie. It had a few like gripes, like some of it was a little too corny, but I thought this was better than the first movie.
Yeah,
it doesn't suffer from like sequelitis of
no, it's pretty
good.
Yeah, it's one where like the quality doesn't go down as I watch it. It might actually improve as I watch it.
Yeah, I have more of appreciation for it.
Yeah.
So that leaves us on the road to the new Hellboy that's will be coming out, and that'll be our next episode.
Yep, gonna hear that next. So get ready, kids.
And we'll see how many slow versions of songs we hear in the trailer. That's which we'll look back on 5 years from now and be like, that's such a like 2018 thing. Yeah.
I really like that second trailer up until like his final joke at the end. He says like they're not a good match or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Sorry, I'm not a Libra or what.
Yeah, something like that.
Scorpio or something. I don't know. Stupid. But that is only the trailer, and we'll find out how the movie really goes.
Yep.
Yeah. So what happens when you don't get a trilogy, you get a reboot?
Yep. Next time
on Hellboy.
On the road to Hellboy.
I'm on the highway to
Hellboy. All right, thanks for listening, everybody. Check out more shows and more content over at geeksrising.com. There's several other podcasts you can go check out. You can follow us by checking the links down below. Thank you so much, and we'll see you later. Bye.
Bye.
We die, and the world will be poorer for it. Thanks for listening to this episode on On the Subject. If you enjoyed this episode, feel free to share it, subscribe, rate us on whatever podcast source you're using. For more content or to reach out to us, follow the podcast on Twitter and Instagram at On The Subject. And for more details, links are in our show notes. Thanks again.